now that we're at this volume, I can afford to bring someone that just focuses solely on making sure deals close. I have buyers that I can blast out deals to that are vetted, that will close, that are, as long as we get in a margin, and just free marketing. Most people think surprises are good things. They're not typically good. Working on another good one in Shandy under 100K. Should have more info in a bit. Let the deals come to you. And so we had a situation where they underwrote the deal with a wrong tax amount.
Tried to turn it off one time and the matrix crashed.
Alright. So we're at the point, we're doing a lot of deals. We've been doing a lot of deals, but recently it's kind of like doubled. And a lot of that is because some really cool software we use. So we're doing 14 deals in October alone, which is amazing. It's a lot of just, nuances to follow up with, making sure that sellers get to the title company. Sometimes we're closing with out-of-state investors. Sometimes we're closing deals in trusts. People are closing deals in their LLC. They gotta make sure they send their corporate docs or, last four of their social, their loan number, all that kind of stuff. I said I have an executive assistant that helps me with my portfolio of multifamily properties, single family properties, and as well helps me, with bookkeeping and taxes and utility stuff. So I'm going to be onboarding her in the role of a transaction coordinator, testing her out, and just if you have someone reliable on your team that you can give them a little extra money and build a position that's, see if it's a good fit, because she already has a lot on her plate. I want to make sure she can handle it. She'll be here in like 15 minutes. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. And now that we're at this volume, I can afford to bring someone that just focuses solely on making sure deals close. So yeah, that's what we're about to do. So the phone call is an investor. He does a lot of volume out here. He's really well connected. He actually used to own a foundation company, sold it. So he's sitting on a lot of cash. And so he's constantly just buying deals cash and then moving them. He just wants to keep his money turning. There was a couple deals that we were able to do that were very tight on margin, and we were able to execute on the close date with some difficult tenant situations. And so when you were able to perform and make a deal happen that other people can't, where he's very well connected in this market. He knows some of the big players out here doing lots of deals. So if we're able to do that, he's like, man, well, why would I go work with someone else? If they're able to make this deal happen that was very difficult, they can make most of the other deals happen. And so it's huge, guys, to perform on the tough deals so that when the other deals come in, they're gonna keep giving you more volume. I didn't spend any in the marketing. I have buyers that I can blast out deals to that are vetted, that will close, that are, as long as we get in a margin, and just free marketing.
All right, what's in Dallas?
Okay, what's in Dallas is the Cowboys. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. KC for life. Give me some.
Yes, sir.
My cousin's a huge Cowboys fan. His family is going to Florida or something like that for the weekend. He's like, dude, we should all go to the Cowboys game. Quest's birthday is last weekend. We'll pay for Quest. What do we agree to pay for you?
The flight.
Just the flight. Just the flight. So we still have rental car and tickets and whatever, thing like that. But anyways, kind of just mutual celebration of Quest's birthday. Also going out there with Derek, first time in the Cowboys game, and yeah, you gotta have fun.
Wheeling and dealing in Dallas.
Yeah, dude, we'll close deals in Dallas.
Always be closing deals.
We should look at deals in Dallas while we're out there. Let's go. Oh, XRP.
Okay, whatever it is, Bitcoin, XRP.
Ripple. Hey, I'm bullish on Ripple. Not financial advice. Just because I will own crypto. I would like to have some of the balance sheet for my companies in crypto. Just a heads up. However, I realized I can grow my money safer and faster if I reinvest into my companies versus put it in Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin goes to $100,000 in 3 months. I can make $100,000 if I invest $50,000 in my company easily by getting return on advertising, which is called ROAS. Little tips out there, guys. Just saying.
Tips.
Okay. You want to go do transaction coordinating?
Yes.
All right, so this is a big outline right here of us refining our transaction coordination process. Shara. That's not what it, that's her. Okay, we can have little birds flying around her head or something there. We're honing in our transaction coordination process so that we can make our closing smoother, so we can bring on more deals with more people all across the country. So when we scale, that we don't have all these bottlenecks and issues. So that's essentially what we're breaking down right now. This is the acquisition side of the transaction coordination. This is the disposition side of the transaction coordination. Okay, so we already got this kind of laid out for each transaction. If it has an LLC, we need the operating agreement. So then We know who, like the title company knows if they can sign and who can sign, right? Because some LLCs in the operating agreements, one person can sign if there's business partners on it, or some of them that both business partners, have to sign for LLC. So that's why you ask for the operating agreement. So this is for anyone that's doing a lot of volume. These are things that make you close your deals smoother. You want to make sure you're coordinating the closing time with the seller/buyer. And we'll go over like acquisitions and dispositions, what you need for both sides. You'll need the last four of the social, loan number for their payoff letter so that everything can get paid off. Ideally a week before closing, so it's as smooth as possible. Once we get a property under contract, our acquisitions guy, he'll email you the seller, title, and the contracts that all have been signed. This is where you can introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Shara, I'm the best transaction coordinator alive. Here's all the information you're gonna be requesting. Right? I think it's smart if we just make it a really clean, legit, professional PDF. Yeah, so like, say, hey, here's everything that we need to know from you all in order to facilitate this closing smoothly so we can get the funds all lined up. Okay, so closing date. Something else, you might want to ask them, like, how would you like your funds, how would you like to receive your funds? Do you want to get them wired to you, or do you want to pick them up at the title company? If we do this stuff for the title company, they're gonna love us. Title companies can blow up your deals, or they can save your deals. I mean, I can't stress enough, having a communicative title company is imperative. That you know them, they know you. Build relationships with title companies, because title companies know investors, they know contractors, they know a lot of banks, they know a lot of lenders, they know who's doing a lot of volume. Each title company has their own, I won't say risk tolerance, but their own like preference. Some of them just want to work with agents, like they just want to do traditional transactions. Some of them specialize with investors, some specialize in wholesaling, some specialize in other creative ways of real estate, subject to doing contract for deeds or owner finance or novation agreements, things like that. So you're also going to want to coordinate like keys. How are we getting keys? Even though in the wholesale space we're not always going to be buying a deal, but it'll be helpful for our investors, like, hey, we got keys from the seller, or hey, the seller's going to be dropping off keys at the title company, or they might be leaving them at the property, right? And I'll explain, this is just the acquisition side. You can do this all very well. It'll make the buyer experience so much better. And there's not a lot of companies that are focusing on these little details. So they're just going to be able to get more Google reviews. Word of mouth will be better. Like, oh man, the transaction with Investor Plus was so smooth. Like, it just, yeah, maybe the price is a little bit higher or whatever. Other situations happen, but we handle all this other little stuff for them. One thing you might want to ask the seller: in-person closing, or are you gonna, do you need a mobile notary? That's a big thing that I've been bad at following up on. Like, I'll find out 4 days before closing that we need a mobile notary. So there's always a contract with the seller to us, and then there will always be a contract with us to the buyer. Okay, so this will be our dispositions agent, dispositions manager. They will send us email. This is what they'll do as soon as they get a property under contract with a buyer. Okay, this is something else you want to make sure we get from title. This is like a specific title thing. You want to make sure we get the settlement statement, or you call it the HUD. You want to get the HUD from title. Like, we can review and seller can review. We don't want to blow up a closing. Like, you want seller to see everything they're going to get, so there's no surprises. Most people think surprises are good things. They're not typically good. Most of the times in life, the things that surprise you are not good surprises. It's a bad surprise. Oh, it's off $1,000. I'm not closing, so now you can't make a $20,000 deal. That would suck, right? It's a little miscommunication, right? You lose 3 deals like that a year. That's 60 grand. That's average median income. Are they using a hard money lender? Because that's something the title's gonna want to know. And local bank, like, they might have a line of credit at a local bank, right? Like, they'll always say cash. Like, but like, okay, cool, cash. But are you getting the cash from a hard money lender or a bank? Or are you using your own? Like, do you literally have cash in the bank? This is a big one. Did we receive earnest money? Right, especially with a new buyer, like you have never worked with before. You want to make sure you give them 48 hours to work, 48 hours, 72 hours, depending if it's on a Friday or whatever, but did we receive earnest money? But if we wait till like a week before close to find out if we received EMD and all this, and then they back out, we have no recourse. We can sue them, but then what? Who cares, right? It's just a waste of time. And if we can have all this stuff even like 4 to 5 days before closing, then we just know for 100% fact it's gonna close, there's no issues. So it's not as hard as it seems.
Oh, I know.
We've been doing this with no one in that position, and we've been closing properties. Trust me, after you've done a couple of these, you'll feel like it's a breeze. It's like anything in life though, right? I'd love to give you $50 a closing too, so if you do 10 closings a week, you get $500 extra a week, $2,000 extra a month. And if you get your notary, I can start blasting you out as Shara as the remote closer of Kansas City.
Ho ho ho.
And then you can really make like 100 and 150 bucks. Well, you just keep working with me and keep making more money. Pay off those student
Why am I
loans.
even here?
Pay off that student loans, invest in Bitcoin. Just kidding. Don't have an LLC. Like for example, there's an investor that we did a closing on today. Done a lot of deals with him, but this property he closed in his personal name. So him and his wife have to sign. So if a person is selling a property, if they're married, they do need to have their wife sign, depending on what state you're in, local state laws. But that's once again, when you can do a mobile notary, and then they can go to a bank, get all the docs notarized, overnight them back to the title company the next day, and then you don't have to worry about like, scheduling 2 people now versus 1. And then we'll go into more like, okay, what if there's a divorce? What if there's someone that passed away on the property? What if it's in a trust? Gets more exciting. But you're gonna learn specialized knowledge, girl. Show. We might just start a title company after all this. Have you run it? Working on another good one in Shandy under 100K. Should have more info in a bit. Let the deals come to you. Show people you can close one time. Just prove it. Prove it one time, and then the deals will come to you. Because they know you're a repeat buyer. They know you can give them volume. They built that rapport and trust. And then don't screw up that trust. Make sure you do things right. Pay people well. But dude, like deals just come to you. Like it's awesome.
Basically, their algorithm is not always right, and he has like 3 deals where it's very obvious, according to county records, that it's just messed up. But underwriting's been told they can't use that. So that's the deal.
Here's the context. We're selling a lot of deals to a lot of institutions, family offices, and a lot of funds. When you sell deals to people like that, billion-dollar companies, they're funding hundreds of millions of dollars a month. They have layers of departments. And so the deal goes from one department to one department to one department to one department. And so there's so many gatekeepers to underwrite their deals. And so we have a situation where they underwrote the deal with the wrong tax amount. We caught it, which is great because we were familiar with their process. However, the state that we're selling the deal in, they haven't updated the tax amount 100% on county records. So we can't show them proof that, hey, you're wrong. We can show them based upon some numbers and metrics that the county gives us that they're wrong, but they want the exact number, which is so stupid. They can just do you can show them the math, but they want to have some kind of proof from the county that this is the exact number, but it hasn't came out yet. We should be making way more on the deal, but we're not. We're still gonna make money on the deal, and it was a very hard deal to move. Still happy to get it done. It's with a newer JV wholesaler essentially. So we're happy to have them make a good fee on it. We'll make a smaller fee, but they're obviously going to give us more business in the future because we can move their deals. And they'll see it on closing. We didn't make that much on this one. That's the context of that situation, the conversation there.
When you give me this trust, anything can happen.
Yeah, you're right.
It's technology.
And that's why trust is built one brick at a time.
That's right.
Yeah, brick by brick. I have another closing today, and it's a double close. So I had to sign 2 sets of closing docs. On a double close where you're selling the property, you have to sign an affidavit most of the time, and then you also have to sign, obviously you have to sign the warranty deed. So those have to be notarized. Now when you're purchasing properties, depending upon the title company and the state, you can electronically sign everything, which is awesome. On this second portion of the transaction, I just got to electronically sign from my computer, and then we're gonna get a good fee tomorrow on this deal.
If you
Do you
want,
have Outlook? If you
I've
have
got
Outlook-
1, 2, 3, 5 emails.
If you have Outlook, that's your first mistake. Which
Yeah,
info
that-
one?
No, it's not. Outlook, that's Microsoft. But that is Outlook, isn't it? One time.
Box
Oh, wait.
zero.
Box zero.
That's what they call it, inbox zero.
Box zero.
We should have an internal competition.
This is
How can we
just-
get our company to have inbox zero? No, you can put all your Googles, all your Gmails, in your Gmail app. All right, guys, long day today. Worked on some transaction coordination, worked on some deals following up, making sure things close, working with the team, hiring on new people. I'm here with Cap Out Investments, Colby, Alex. They have a pretty sick office. I just have WeWork, so they're way cooler than me. But yeah, today we were working on the 32 unit. We were going through each unit and making a budget. It's important because you don't want to overspend. You know, if you can keep things like, okay, there's already been painted, the flooring's already been done, or okay, like we know what rent is going to be charged in this area. So, you know, Alex and Colby own an 8 unit nearby, so they're already getting $700 a unit. So we're like, okay, what are they doing at that building, and just do it over there. You spend the right, you know, the money on the right things to make sure you get the right rent, so you can cap out. Shameless plug.
Cap out.
And gosh, man, these guys are legit. This is his office, so I'm pretty jealous actually. Alex, show him.
Come step on in. This is where the magic happens.
This is where the deals get closed. Is it ever off though? Can you even turn it off?
No, it's
Always on.
All the
Always
time.
on.
I tried to turn it off one time and the matrix crashed.
Yeah, a glitch in the matrix.
We were just over here working on the 32 unit, getting things figured out. We'll shoot another video showing you some progress updates once our contractors roll through, and can't wait to see what that refinance is for. Take care, guys. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned.